Imagine transforming your life while you sleep, rewiring your mind effortlessly every single night. In this video, you'll discover how to harness the power of your subconscious, build automatic habits, and manifest your goals without constant struggle, from dream state learning to sleep rituals that reshape your thoughts. You'll learn practical, actionable techniques to accelerate personal growth while resting. This isn't just theory, it's a step-by-step guide to real change. Subscribe to Audiobook every day and join a community committed to leveling up their lives effortlessly, one night at a time, through the transformative power of audio and subconscious mastery. Number 1. Reprogram your mind during sleep. Night is an ally when treated with purpose. While the world sleeps, the mind continues to work, quieter, less guarded, more receptive. This is not magic. This is biology and discipline combined. The mind that drifts into rest is not offline. It is sifting, consolidating, and making sense of everything fed to it. Reprogramming the mind during sleep is not about escaping effort. It is about redirecting the natural rhythm of the nervous system so the hard work of change happens more efficiently. Real change begins with consistent, deliberate actions taken repeatedly, and the night amplifies those actions if they are chosen with clarity and executed with discipline. Start by clarifying one small specific outcome you want to change. Vague aims dilute effort. Instead of be happier, choose notice 3 small wins daily, or speak clearly and calmly in disagreements. The night is for installing precise software into habit. Each evening, write the exact behavior or belief you want reinforced. Keep it short, present tense, and affirmative. I remain calm and clear in tense conversations, or I find a productive action within 10 minutes of feeling stuck. These precise statements become the thread the subconscious follows while consciousness rests. Create a ritual that signals the mind. A fixed sequence of actions that the body and mind learn to associate with preparation and change. Rituals matter because they bypass argument and willpower. Make the ritual brief but exact. Dim lights, place phone face down, drink a small glass of water, breathe deeply for 2 minutes, close the journal and press play. Consistency over time teaches neural pathways to prioritize. Discipline is not harshness. It is a steady, respectful training of attention toward what matters. Audio content must be crafted with intention. Voice and language shape how the subconscious receives suggestions. Use short, clear sentences in the present tense. Avoid words like try or future conditional phrasing. The brain absorbs statements framed as facts more easily than aspirations. Calmness comes naturally works better than I will try to be calmer. Keep the tone steady and unhurried. A calm voice invites relaxation and acceptance. If recording, speak slowly, pause between phrases, and include gentle silence. Silence allows the mind to integrate rather than simply absorb a stream of words. A practical structure for a single sleep session audio can be simple and repeatable. Begin with a brief grounding sequence. 5 slow, intentional breaths. Noticed sensations, feet on the floor, chest rising, hands warm. Follow with a 2 to 3 minute intention statement. The precise behavior or belief, written earlier, spoken plainly, repeated 3 to 5 times. Then move into a longer set of short affirmations, each stated clearly and paused for 3 to 5 seconds to allow internal echo. After the affirmations, transition to a guided visualization lasting 10 minutes. Imagine a concrete scene where the desired behavior occurs. The taste of victory is unnecessary. Focus on sensory detail and small repeatable actions. Close with a minute of gratitude, 3 specific items from the day, and then allow the audio to fade into low-volume ambient sound or silence. The total length can vary, 20 to 90 minutes depending on preference, but the ritual and repetition matter more than the exact duration. Affirmations must be concrete, believable, and sensory. Generic statements slip past the subconscious without lodging. Replace "I am confident" with "My voice is steady." "I hold eye contact." "I breathe evenly." Replace "I am successful" with "Today I complete one important task before noon." The subconscious takes literal inputs. Feed it literal practices. Here are examples that can be used or adapted. My breath slows and steady thinking returns. I notice one opportunity and act within 5 minutes. When tension rises, shoulders release and words remain measured. Small steps accumulate. 1 step now. Repeat each line gently with the same cadence, letting the pause do much of the work. Pair nightly audio with preparation during daytime. Change is not purely nocturnal. Daytime action primes the night. During the day, practice micro habits tied to the nighttime aim. If the goal is calmer speech, practice lowering the tone in a short conversation or counting to 3 before replying in one email. These micro practices act like anchors, giving the subconscious concrete instances to replay and strengthen overnight. The night then magnifies and consolidates these daytime seeds into larger patterns. Track progress with simple, stoic measurement. Discipline thrives when feedback is clean. Each morning, record one metric tied directly to the chosen outcome. Number of times calm tone used, minutes spent focused, number of small wins noticed. Keep the record minimal. 1 line, 3 numbers, 1 sentence. Avoid emotional interpretation in this log. Record facts. Over 30 to 90 days, patterns emerge. Small improvements compound. This is how the quiet work of the night becomes visible and undeniable. Silence and environment are not trivial. The brain responds to sensory context. Use headphones or low-volume speakers that are comfortable for sleeping. Avoid jarring sounds or variable volume. Keep the room cool, dark, and free from interruptions. Blue light from screens resets circadian signaling. Remove or heavily limit screens at least 30 minutes before sleep. The ritual of creating an environment that supports the mind is an extension of discipline, a refusal to let convenience decide the terms of inner work. Respond to resistance with practical adjustments rather than moral condemnation. If the audio causes waking or anxiety, shorten it. A 20-minute version consistently used is better than a 2-hour version abandoned. If affirmations feel implausible, scale them to what is believable today. "I speak one calm sentence when upset" is more effective than an improbable total transformation. If falling asleep is difficult, move the affirmations to the first part of sleep, the period just before drifting off, and allow nature to finish the rest. The point is repetition and alignment, not theatrical endurance. Use sensory detail in visualization to anchor meaning. Imagine the tactile feel of completing the habit, the weight of a book closed, the texture of the keyboard after a focus session, the slope of the street on a morning walk. Incorporate sound and smell, the click of a pen, the scent of coffee, the murmur of footsteps. These small sensations make the imagined scenes feel real, and the brain rehearses them as if training for an actual future. That rehearsal changes automatic responses. The mind begins to expect and reproduce those sensory-laden behaviors. Avoid overpromising or expecting overnight miracles. Stoic practice respects time. Small, daily disciplined acts accumulate into durable change. Think of each night as another repetition in the long iteration process. There is no contradiction between ambition and patience. Ambition defines the target, patience secures it. Consider pairing sleep audio with a short morning reflection. The morning after is fertile terrain for reinforcement. Read the single-line log, acknowledge one thing done well, and note one practical task that day which aligns with the wider aim. Morning reflection completes a loop. Intention set at night, action tested by day, evidence recorded, and new intention refined for the next night. This loop is the engine of disciplined growth. Practical examples of simple scripts that fit within the audio format are useful. A short script can be as minimal as 15 sentences, each repeated slowly and plainly. Example lines: breath brings clarity, calm voice holds, small action now. Finish one task. Notice progress. Release what cannot be controlled. Act where control exists. Return to breath. Observe without judgment. Choose the next right thing. These lines are not poetic fireworks. They are direct present tense tools. Repetition of such lines during the pre-sleep state programs the mind to prefer clarity and action. When choosing the voice for the audio, prioritize calmness and steadiness. The subconscious prefers absence of extreme emotion. A neutral, warm voice communicates safety. If using music, keep it minimal and without sudden crescendos. Music that is too engaging competes for attention. Ambient tones or soft, natural sounds often work best. If binaural beats or brainwave entrainment are appealing, approach them as optional tools rather than miracles. Use them with caution and observe how the body responds. Finally, embrace the Stoic core. Focus on what can be controlled. The night cannot guarantee specific outcomes, but the nightly ritual is entirely within control. The practice is an act of sovereignty. The decision to steward attention, to script the inner environment, and to return, day after day, to disciplined work. This is not about passive wishful thinking. It is about intelligently using the mind's natural biology to support purpose. Redirect energy into what compounds over time. Reprogramming the mind during sleep is one of those compound investments. Small, steady deposits that with patience and discipline yield a transformed inner life and a more intentional outer life. Begin tonight. Choose one precise intent, record it, create a brief ritual, and play the audio. Practice the micro habits by day, record the single-line metric by morning, and refine the script as needed. Over time, the night becomes not an escape from effort, but an efficient collaborator in the daily work of becoming who is needed. The difference emerges not in a grand revelation, but in the quiet accumulation of right choices repeated until they become the new default. Number 2. Let subconscious reshape daily reality. The mind operates on layers most people never consciously explore. Conscious thought is only the surface, flickering in attention and intention for a few hours a day. Beneath that lies the subconscious, a vast network that shapes perceptions, reactions, and habits with quiet authority. It does not argue, it does not reason, it absorbs, integrates, and repeats. Learning to let the subconscious reshape daily reality is not about surrendering control. It is about aligning inner processes with deliberate outcomes, ensuring that the autopilot of the mind carries life toward what is chosen rather than what is random. Begin by observing patterns of thought and behavior. Daily reality is constructed moment by moment through repeated reactions, decisions, and interpretations. Awareness is the first tool of transformation. Note where responses are automatic and unproductive, moments of anger, hesitation, procrastination, or doubt. Record them in a single sentence each day. These observations are not judgments, but data points. Data points reveal patterns that the subconscious can learn to shift. The act of noting automatically interrupts unconscious repetition, giving the mind a chance to redirect. Language shapes the subconscious. Words are the building blocks of inner reality. When thought patterns use limiting language, the subconscious follows suit. Shifts occur by replacing passive or negative phrasing with specific affirmative present tense statements. Replace "I can't stay calm" with "My mind remains steady and clear in challenges." Replace "I always fail at tasks" with "I complete tasks with focus and efficiency." These changes are subtle, but repeated consistently, they adjust neural networks. The subconscious does not process abstract goals well. It prefers precise, actionable inputs. Words must be concrete, sensory, and immediate. Visualization enhances the subconscious capacity to influence daily reality. The mind cannot distinguish vivid rehearsal from direct experience. Spend time each morning or evening imagining the desired behavior, reaction, or outcome in precise detail. Envision not only what happens, but how it feels, sounds, and moves. The hand closing a completed notebook, the hum of focused typing, the weight of calmness in the chest. These details translate abstract intentions into embodied experience. Each sensory cue strengthens the bridge between subconscious preparation and conscious execution. Micro-actions are essential for subconscious training. The subconscious does not respond to abstract intent, it responds to repeated action. Identify small, concrete steps that embody the desired change and perform them consistently. If the goal is better focus, begin with 5-minute sessions of undistracted work. If patience is the aim, pause deliberately before responding in conversation. Each action becomes a signal to the subconscious, confirming that the new pattern is feasible, habitual, and valuable. These micro-actions act as anchors, giving the mind tangible evidence to reinforce during sleep or moments of reflection. Even the environment communicates with the subconscious. Surroundings influence thought patterns more than is commonly realized. Cluttered spaces invite distraction. Organized spaces prime focus. Color, lighting, and sound affect mood and decision-making. Adjusting the environment is not trivial, but strategic. Leave one workspace clean and clear. Use soft lighting to cue calm. Allow natural sound or minimal ambient audio to support concentration. These cues act as subconscious prompts, subtly aligning internal states with desired actions. Routine amplifies subconscious influence. Habits are the language of the subconscious. By structuring the day around repeated cues and sequences, the mind begins to anticipate and execute productive behaviors automatically. A morning routine that includes deliberate reflection, sensory visualization, or focused micro-actions primes the subconscious to act in harmony with conscious goals. Evening routines consolidate learning and reinforce the desired state. Repetition is not redundancy. It is the medium through which the subconscious internalizes change. Emotion acts as a catalyst for subconscious programming. Experiences tied to strong but controlled emotion are remembered and repeated more readily. Channel emotions strategically during visualization or practice. A sense of pride, calmness, or relief associated with completed actions anchors them in the subconscious. Emotional tagging does not mean exaggeration or drama. It means acknowledging satisfaction, clarity, and accomplishment in ways the mind can store and replay. These emotional cues create internal markers that guide automatic responses throughout the day. Self-talk is a direct line to the subconscious. Internal dialogue must be curated as deliberately as written instruction. Monitor the tone, content, and frequency of self-directed speech. Replace critique with observation, doubt with inquiry, and vague goals with specific actions. Each phrase repeated silently throughout the day is absorbed, integrated, and later retrieved as default behavior. Consider self-talk a tool for continuous calibration. It shapes perception, guides interpretation, and preempts unproductive automatic responses before they manifest outwardly. Sleep itself can be leveraged to deepen subconscious influence. The brain consolidates memory and behavior patterns during deep rest, making nightly reflection, auditory cues, or silent repetition effective for shaping automatic responses. Playing affirmations or revisiting micro-goals in the final moments before sleep programs patterns while conscious judgment is offline. The mind rehearses responses, aligns expectations, and primes the body for consistent execution the following day. This does not replace effort, but amplifies its effect. Patience and observation form the scaffolding of progress. Subconscious reshaping is a gradual process, not a sudden fix. Results appear in subtle shifts, a calmer response under stress, a quicker initiation of important tasks, a reduction of habitual distraction. Keep a log of these incremental changes. Even small victories reinforce the subconscious capacity for adaptation. Reflection strengthens conscious oversight, ensuring that the autopilot remains aligned with intentional direction. The interplay of intention, repetition, and environment produces compounding results. Each micro-decision made consciously reinforces the subconscious, which in turn executes more effectively without requiring conscious intervention. Over time, this synergy rewires automatic behaviors, actions, emotions, and perceptions begin to flow toward predetermined objectives naturally. The subconscious becomes an ally rather than a random agent of habit or reaction. Integration requires flexibility and adjustment. Monitor which strategies resonate most effectively. Some affirmations may feel implausible. Refine them. Visualizations may need more sensory detail. Expand them. Micro-actions may be too ambitious. Scale them. Flexibility is not weakness, but a reflection of disciplined observation. The subconscious responds to consistency in intention and clarity, not rigidity in method. Adjustments maintain momentum and ensure the mind internalizes change without resistance. Responsibility is central to the process. The subconscious is neutral. It amplifies whatever patterns it is fed. Ethical and productive guidance ensures that reshaping daily reality contributes to growth, discipline, and meaningful achievement. Feed it constructive, realistic, and actionable patterns. Avoid abstract or self-defeating scripts. The mind mirrors what is input. Choose wisely. A final element is alignment with values. Subconscious programming is most effective when it resonates with core principles. Actions aligned with personal integrity, self-respect, and meaningful contribution are more easily internalized. Conflicting goals generate internal friction, slowing adaptation. Ensure that each micro-action, affirmation, and visualization harmonizes with the individual's deepest priorities. Alignment produces effortless reinforcement, turning practice into enduring transformation. By consciously orchestrating input, environment, and practice, the subconscious becomes a sculptor of daily reality. It quietly executes what the conscious mind intends, reinforcing behavior, shaping perception, and solidifying habits. Over time, ordinary moments become opportunities for refinement, challenges become exercises in disciplined application, and the trajectory of life shifts toward the outcomes intentionally cultivated. This is the quiet, disciplined mastery of the inner world, producing measurable and lasting transformation in outward life. The mind that once reacted habitually now responds with precision, resilience, and clarity, proving that careful, consistent attention to the subconscious rewrites the fabric of everyday existence. Number 3. Install powerful beliefs while dreaming. Beliefs shape the architecture of perception more than any external circumstance. They dictate how challenges are interpreted, how opportunities are recognized, and how energy is directed throughout each day. Installing powerful beliefs while dreaming is not mystical wishful thinking. It is a disciplined strategy that leverages the mind's natural receptivity during sleep. During deep and REM sleep, the brain consolidates memory, processes experiences, and organizes patterns of thought. It does so without the interference of conscious skepticism, judgment, or rational argument. This creates a unique window where intentional beliefs can be embedded directly into the subconscious, influencing waking decisions and habitual responses with remarkable subtlety and permanence. The process begins with clarity about which beliefs hold the highest leverage. Powerful beliefs are not vague aspirations. They are precise convictions that change perception and behavior simultaneously. Instead of "I am successful," a more potent belief would be "I take consistent, focused action every morning and complete my highest priority task before noon." Rather than "I am confident," a stronger construction would be "I speak clearly, hold eye contact, and maintain steady breathing in all interactions." These beliefs combine actionable behavior with internal state, providing the subconscious with tangible scripts to enact during both dream states and waking life. Before sleep, create a space that primes receptivity. The body's environment signals the mind, preparing it to receive suggestions. Dim lighting, comfortable temperature, and minimal external noise reduce interference. Eliminate distractions, such as phones or notifications, allowing a period of quietude. A brief pre-sleep ritual reinforces readiness. Deep, deliberate breaths, gentle stretching, or slow focus on a calming visual object. These cues signal the brain that the upcoming period is one for integration, learning, and the embedding of new neural patterns. Audio, repetition, and visualization are powerful tools for embedding beliefs during dreaming. Carefully crafted audio scripts, recorded in calm, measured tones, provide the subconscious with direct, unambiguous instructions. Repeating precise belief statements allows the brain to rehearse and internalize patterns. For example, a belief centered on productivity can be expressed as "My focus sharpens naturally. I complete one meaningful action every hour." The repetition strengthens the association between internal state and outward behavior. Short pauses between statements allow absorption rather than superficial hearing, giving the mind time to anchor each concept in memory. Visualization adds a layer of sensory encoding to beliefs. The subconscious thrives on imagery, particularly when it is immersive and detailed. Imagine scenes in which the belief manifests naturally. The feeling of completing a task efficiently, the sight of a calm, confident posture, the sound of a composed voice in a critical conversation. Incorporate physical sensations, the weight of completed work, the warmth of controlled breathing, or the subtle movements that accompany confident gestures. When the subconscious experiences these details vividly in a dreamlike or relaxed state, it rehearses real behavior without conscious resistance. Dream journaling or pre-sleep reflection reinforces belief installation. Spend a few minutes noting desired changes, the specific behaviors they entail, and the outcomes associated with them. This practice primes the mind for nightly integration, bridging conscious intention with subconscious absorption. By writing or mentally reviewing beliefs before sleep, neural pathways begin forming even before the brain enters deep processing, making the dream state more receptive to structured suggestions. Consistency is essential. Belief installation is not a single event phenomenon. It is iterative. Each night provides an opportunity to reinforce and layer new beliefs. Even small adjustments, when repeated nightly, accumulate into profound shifts in automatic thought patterns. The subconscious responds to persistent input, so maintaining regularity ensures that the mind is continuously rehearsing and solidifying the intended reality. Discipline, rather than duration, governs the effectiveness of this process. Beliefs should be framed in the present tense and with certainty. The subconscious reacts poorly to uncertainty or conditional language. Statements like, "I will try to stay calm," are less effective than "I remain calm and clear in every situation." Present tense framing communicates certainty and immediacy, allowing the mind to treat the instruction as already true. Certainty activates the brain's pattern recognition system, encouraging it to reproduce behaviors consistent with the belief rather than questioning its validity. During dreaming, the mind naturally weaves experiences into patterns. By repeatedly exposing it to well-defined beliefs, the subconscious integrates them into the narrative of self. Over time, these beliefs begin to appear in waking behavior: automatic focus on priorities, instinctive calmness in stressful situations, or spontaneous recognition of opportunities aligned with personal goals. The mind treats these beliefs as natural truths, reducing internal resistance and increasing efficiency in decision-making. Morning reinforcement complements nighttime belief installation. Immediately upon waking, recall one or two of the beliefs that were reinforced during sleep. Reflect briefly on small, concrete actions that can embody these beliefs in the day ahead. This step bridges subconscious programming with conscious application, allowing for immediate feedback and refinement. The more beliefs are enacted consciously, the more deeply they are anchored in the subconscious, creating a feedback loop of growth and integration. Belief installation is strengthened by environment and sensory cues throughout the day. Subtle reminders, a visual symbol, a note, or a particular scent associated with a desired state can reinforce subconscious alignment. The mind recognizes these cues as extensions of the nightly programming, triggering automatic adoption of the belief in action. This coupling of environment, sensation, and internal conviction accelerates transformation, making the installed beliefs an integral part of daily life rather than isolated nighttime exercises. Over time, installed beliefs interact to produce compounding effects. A belief in disciplined focus enhances a belief in calm communication, which in turn reinforces a belief in consistent progress. The subconscious does not compartmentalize, it integrates patterns holistically, allowing one small deliberate adjustment to ripple across multiple domains of behavior. This is why careful selection of high-leverage beliefs, those that influence multiple outcomes, is essential for maximizing impact. The process also benefits from detachment from outcome. Powerful belief installation does not require obsession over immediate results. The subconscious absorbs information whether or not conscious attention dwells on instant feedback. This reduces anxiety, increases patience, and promotes sustained practice. Discipline and consistency are the channels, outcomes are the natural consequence. The mind internalizes beliefs efficiently when pressure to perform is removed, creating effortless internalization. Reflection and iteration deepen results. Periodically evaluate which beliefs manifest strongly and which require reinforcement or adjustment. Tailor phrasing, imagery, or micro-actions to align more closely with personal experience. The subconscious is highly adaptable. Clear, consistent input yields predictable, measurable change. This continuous refinement ensures that belief installation remains dynamic and responsive, producing steady, compounding improvement. Emotion serves as a multiplier in this process. Beliefs tied to controlled, positive emotional experiences embed more firmly, feeling pride, satisfaction, or clarity, while rehearsing a belief enhances the mind's receptivity. Emotions do not have to be dramatic. Subtle, authentic sensations are sufficient to anchor the belief. The subconscious translates these emotional cues into reinforced behavior, increasing the likelihood that the belief manifests automatically in daily life. The ultimate effect of installing powerful beliefs while dreaming is a transformation in lived experience. The mind begins to operate in alignment with deliberate choices rather than reactionary impulses, Decisions, actions, and interpretations of events shift naturally toward outcomes that reflect the internalized beliefs. This transformation is not forced. It is the natural consequence of consistent, intentional input delivered when the mind is most receptive. Dreams become a laboratory for internal engineering, shaping habits, perceptions, and resilience without exhausting conscious effort. By approaching belief installation with clarity, repetition, sensory richness, and emotional resonance, the subconscious evolves into a strategic ally. It automates behaviors, aligns perceptions with desired outcomes, and reduces friction in decision-making. Over weeks and months, what once required conscious effort becomes intuitive, habitual, and automatic. Each night is an opportunity to strengthen this foundation, turning the sleeping mind into a silent architect of waking excellence, producing a life increasingly aligned with intention, mastery, and purposeful action. Number 4. Effortlessly manifest goals by night. The night is not simply a pause from life. It is a dynamic period when the mind can be guided toward creating outcomes with precision and ease. Manifesting goals by night is not about wishful thinking or magical shortcuts. It is about strategically using the natural functions of the brain to prime action, clarity, and alignment while consciousness rests. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagined experience and real memory. Every mental image, affirmation, and sensory rehearsal feeds the neural pathways that dictate automatic responses during waking hours. By consciously shaping these inputs before and during sleep, goals begin to materialize with minimal friction, appearing as if the mind has effortlessly translated intention into reality. The process begins with specificity. Goals that are vague or abstract fail to engage the mind's pattern recognition systems. Rather than, "I want more money," articulate, "I complete one task daily," that generates tangible income, and review financial progress each evening. Rather than, "I want to be healthier," specify, "I drink 1 liter of water before noon, walk 10 minutes after lunch, and prepare a balanced dinner." Clarity allows the subconscious to know exactly what to rehearse and execute, turning otherwise amorphous ambition into precise, repeatable action scripts. Preparation before sleep is essential. The body and mind need signals that a period of integration is beginning. Dimming lights, arranging a comfortable sleeping space, and creating a short, ritual signal readiness. Even small actions, setting aside devices, drinking a glass of water, or taking 5 slow breaths, prime the mind for focused absorption. These signals are cues the subconscious recognizes as markers of a learning and integration phase, enhancing receptivity to goal-oriented inputs. Audio reinforcement amplifies effectiveness. Carefully structured recordings or spoken affirmations can guide the mind in installing goal-oriented behavior. Statements should be present tense, active, and direct. "I complete the most important task first thing tomorrow," or "I maintain steady focus and clarity in every decision." Avoid conditional phrasing, hypothetical language, or emotional exaggeration. The subconscious processes certainty and immediacy, so phrasing must communicate that the desired outcome is already part of the mind's operating system. Repetition with deliberate pauses strengthens integration, allowing ideas to echo internally rather than merely being heard superficially. Visualization enhances the process by adding sensory depth. The mind encodes experiences more effectively when they are vividly imagined with multiple senses. Picture completing the goal in exact detail. The tactile sensation of finishing the task, the sound of the environment, the visual cues of progress, and the internal feeling of accomplishment. Embedding these sensory details transforms abstract goals into lived experiences in the subconscious, allowing the brain to rehearse outcomes and reduce resistance in real-world execution. The more immersive the visualization, the more naturally the mind carries that behavior forward. Small, concrete actions during the day serve as anchors for nighttime manifestation. These micro-actions provide reference points for the subconscious, confirming feasibility and reinforcing neural pathways. For example, a goal to write consistently can begin with writing 1 paragraph daily. A goal to improve communication can start with a single deliberate pause in conversation before responding. Each small victory reinforces the expectation that progress is attainable, giving the subconscious concrete patterns to embed during sleep. Nighttime rehearsals amplify these daytime seeds, making habitual execution more natural. Environmental alignment supports subconscious manifestation. A cluttered or distracting space signals the brain to resist focus and clarity, while a clean, ordered, and intentionally prepared space promotes calm and receptivity. Temperature, lighting, ambient sound all contribute to readiness. Minimal, steady background noise or soft tonal patterns enhance absorption without competing for attention. Subtle environmental cues throughout the night reinforce internal goals, allowing the subconscious to integrate intention seamlessly with context. Emotion plays a vital role. Positive, controlled emotions paired with goal visualization enhance retention and automaticity. Feeling satisfaction, pride, or calm determination while imagining or stating goals strengthens the subconscious imprint. Emotional resonance does not require dramatic intensity. Small, authentic feelings are sufficient to anchor behavior. The subconscious associates these emotional states with the desired outcomes, making it easier to act in alignment with goals naturally, without conscious effort during the day. Morning reinforcement bridges the gap between subconscious preparation and conscious action. Upon waking, reviewing one specific goal or micro-action and noting the next step reinforces the neural patterns activated overnight. This connection between nocturnal programming and daily execution ensures that goals are not merely imagined, but integrated into lived reality. Reflection at this stage strengthens both confidence and clarity, reinforcing that intended outcomes are attainable through consistent, disciplined practice. Iteration and adjustment are critical. Observing which techniques resonate and which require modification ensures the process remains effective. Some affirmations may need rephrasing for clarity. Visualizations may require more sensory detail. Micro-actions may need scaling to remain practical. The subconscious responds best to persistent, precise, and realistic input. Regular refinement maintains momentum, ensuring that manifestation continues to progress in alignment with actual circumstances and evolving objectives. Detachment from immediate results is necessary for consistent application. Nighttime manifestation is about priming the mind, not controlling outcomes instantly. The subconscious integrates input gradually, and the effects compound over days and weeks. Excessive concern with immediate success introduces tension that can hinder absorption. By focusing on disciplined input and trusting the natural consolidation process of the mind, the subconscious integrates goals smoothly, producing outcomes that appear effortless from a waking perspective. Integration of multiple modalities enhances effectiveness. Combining affirmations, visualization, environmental alignment, micro-actions, and emotional resonance creates a multi-layered approach. Each modality supports the others, producing a reinforcing cycle that accelerates manifestation. This system is more effective than relying on any single method because the mind encodes input through multiple channels, sensory, cognitive, and emotional, ensuring deeper and more durable incorporation of desired behaviors and outcomes. Beliefs underpin effective goal manifestation. Goals without aligned internal conviction encounter resistance, while deeply embedded beliefs guide natural execution. Reinforce beliefs that support desired outcomes concurrently with goal installation. For example, pairing a goal of consistent action with the belief, "I act decisively and prioritize what matters most," aligns intention and identity. The subconscious then perceives goal-oriented behavior as consistent with self-concept, reducing friction and increasing automaticity. Patience and observation create clarity. Manifestation is revealed in small, tangible shifts, faster completion of tasks, calmer execution, or instinctive prioritization of key actions. Maintaining a journal or brief log of these changes provides evidence of progress and reinforces the subconscious program. Observing patterns without judgment allows adjustment of technique while reinforcing consistency. Over time, these incremental gains compound, producing a transformation in both behavior and perception. Ultimately, manifesting goals by night harnesses the natural function of the mind during sleep to reduce friction, automate behavior, and align perception with intention. By providing clear, consistent input combined with sensory richness, emotional resonance, and environmental support, the subconscious integrates desired outcomes into daily reality. Discipline, clarity, and iteration replace struggle, producing results that appear effortless because they are deeply rooted in the mind's internal architecture. Each night becomes a period of focused, silent action, transforming potential into reality with precision and continuity. Number 5. Sleep audio aligns inner patterns. The mind functions as a symphony of patterns, rhythms, and habits, many of which operate below conscious awareness. Thoughts, emotions, and actions are orchestrated by a complex network of neural pathways, and the quality of this inner symphony determines the quality of external life. Sleep is a critical time when these patterns consolidate, recalibrate, and organize. Leveraging sleep audio to align inner patterns is not about passive listening or hope. It is a precise, disciplined approach to synchronizing mental, emotional, and behavioral rhythms. By feeding the mind deliberate, structured input during its most receptive states, the brain internalizes productive patterns, recalibrates disruptive cycles, and establishes a foundation for automatic, effortless performance during waking life. Understanding how inner patterns operate is the first step. The brain encodes repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as interconnected circuits. Habits emerge from the repeated firing of these circuits, and emotional responses are anchored in these same networks. Sleep provides an opportunity for these circuits to be rewired, refined, or reinforced. Aligning them intentionally requires precision. Audio content must be structured to reinforce the desired equilibrium, redirect unhelpful cycles, and promote mental coherence. Random listening cannot achieve this. Every phrase, tone, and pause must be calibrated to create resonance within the subconscious. The design of sleep audio requires clarity and simplicity. Statements should be direct, affirmative, and present tense, guiding the subconscious without ambiguity. Instead of "I will try to be productive," use "I focus and complete my highest priority tasks naturally." Each statement must be actionable and rooted in observable behavior or internal state. Abstract or hypothetical phrasing fails to create durable neural alignment. Repetition reinforces the neural signature of each pattern, while deliberate pauses allow the mind to internalize and integrate rather than merely absorb superficially. Pacing and tone are crucial. The subconscious is highly sensitive to rhythm, cadence, and emotional inflection. Calm, steady speech without sudden volume changes invites relaxation and receptivity. Pauses between statements are not silence without purpose. They are moments where the subconscious organizes and encodes input. Audio that is rushed or uneven produces friction, reducing alignment and potentially reinforcing tension rather than harmony. Gentle, measured delivery allows the mind to accept new patterns without resistance. Sensory engagement amplifies integration. While listening, the mind naturally forms associations with internal sensations. Encourage awareness of bodily states, breath, and subtle emotional shifts. For instance, a statement like, "Each breath calms and focuses me," when paired with slow, deliberate breathing, creates a direct sensory link between audio input and physical experience. This synchronization reinforces the alignment of inner patterns, embedding new pathways, not just cognitively, but physiologically. The mind does not operate in isolation. It integrates body and thought into cohesive, repeatable patterns. Visualization incorporated into sleep. Audio enhances its effect. Encourage the listener to imagine scenarios that reflect the desired state. A focused work session, calm interaction under stress, or disciplined follow-through on a goal. Details should include visual cues, physical sensations, and subtle emotional context. For example, noticing the weight of a pen on paper during a completed task, or the rhythm of footsteps on a hallway floor during a confident walk, adds realism and embeds behavior in multiple sensory channels. The more immersive the rehearsal, the more robust the internal alignment. Timing is another essential factor. Sleep cycles move through stages, each with different levels of brainwave activity. Certain stages, particularly light sleep and early REM, are especially receptive to audio cues. Consistently playing structured, calm and affirming audio during these stages allows the subconscious to absorb and reinforce patterns with minimal interference from conscious skepticism. This does not replace active effort, but enhances it, turning rest into a fertile period for internal optimization. Consistency is indispensable. Inner patterns are built over years of repeated thought and behavior. They are not easily rewritten by a single session. Regular nightly engagement with sleep audio creates compounding effects. Over days and weeks, neural circuits reorganize, emotional responses stabilize, and behavior becomes more consistent with intended goals. This is the principle of incremental alignment. Small, repeated interventions produce profound structural change in mental architecture. Environmental cues support audio effectiveness. The body and mind respond to context. Lighting, temperature, and ambient sound can either enhance or hinder receptivity. A stable, quiet, and comfortable sleep environment reduces competing stimuli, allowing the mind to focus on integration. Even subtle details, such as the arrangement of bedding or the absence of abrupt noises, contribute to the subconscious readiness to absorb and harmonize new patterns. Emotion and intention function as accelerants in the process. Audio statements paired with subtle emotional engagement, calm confidence, satisfaction, or determination anchor the patterns more deeply. The subconscious codes emotional valence alongside the behavioral or cognitive instruction, increasing the likelihood that new patterns will manifest in real life. Controlled emotion acts as a bridge between abstract instruction and tangible execution, making the internal real and actionable. Micro-reflection before sleep enhances the effectiveness of audio. Spending a few minutes reviewing the day, acknowledging successes, and noting small areas for refinement primes the mind for integration. When paired with sleep audio, this reflection creates a feedback loop. The subconscious recognizes patterns of both strength and opportunity, recalibrating automatically during rest. This reinforces consistency, reduces internal friction, and improves the fidelity of pattern alignment over time. Feedback loops solidify the process. Morning reflection on the previous night's session allows conscious observation of changes in thought, emotion, or behavior. Recording even minor improvements establishes evidence for the mind that patterns are indeed aligning. This strengthens internal confidence and commitment, while subtle adjustments in audio phrasing or visualization can fine-tune subsequent sessions. Iteration ensures that alignment remains precise, responsive, and sustainable over long periods. Integration of physical practice with sleep. Audio deepens results. Performing small, deliberate actions during the day that mirror desired internal patterns gives the subconscious concrete reference points. Whether it is focused work sessions, measured breathing under stress, or disciplined micro-habits, these tangible experiences reinforce the patterns being embedded overnight. The mind naturally bridges rehearsal and reality, turning intentional sleep programming into observable, consistent outcomes. The approach relies on detachment from immediate results. Inner alignment is a long-term process. Patience and disciplined repetition outweigh the need for instant gratification. Sleep audio functions as a structural guide, not a miracle solution. Its power lies in steady, consistent reinforcement of positive, coherent patterns that reduce internal friction, enhance resilience, and streamline decision-making. Over time, what once required effort becomes automatic, habitual, and integrated seamlessly into daily life. Finally, aligning inner patterns through sleep audio cultivates self-mastery. It transforms reactive behavior into intentional, reliable action. Emotional volatility decreases, attention stabilizes, and the mind organizes itself in accordance with disciplined intention. Each session is a rehearsal, each night a reinforcement, and over weeks and months, the internal architecture of thought, habit, and emotion becomes coherent, synchronized, and aligned with life objectives. Sleep ceases to be a passive state. It becomes a strategic period for the ongoing optimization of character, focus, and performance, producing durable transformation that appears effortless yet is deeply grounded in precise, intentional practice. Number 6. Transform mindset quietly, every bedtime. The mind holds a remarkable capacity for transformation, far beyond what is visible in daily effort or conscious reflection. Much of this change occurs quietly, in moments when awareness softens and the brain becomes more receptive. Bedtime is one of the most powerful opportunities to cultivate lasting change in mindset. Each night, as the body settles and attention turns inward, the mind enters a phase where habitual thought patterns, emotional responses, and ingrained beliefs can be reshaped subtly but profoundly. This process is not about force or struggle. It is about precision, consistency, and the gentle cultivation of mental structures that naturally support growth, clarity, and resilience. Transformation begins with intentional preparation. Before sleep, the mind must be given clear signals that it is entering a period for integration and refinement. Simple routines, such as dimming lights, reducing noise, or taking slow, measured breaths, communicate to the subconscious that it is time to process, organize, and internalize new patterns. These signals are not trivial. They prime the neural architecture to receive input efficiently and with minimal interference from residual stress or distraction. Consistency in these cues strengthens the association, making the mind more responsive to subtle mental cultivation each night. Bedtime reflection provides the foundation for mindset change. Spend a few moments reviewing the day with curiosity rather than judgment. Observe patterns of thought, moments of resistance, and opportunities for growth. Acknowledge achievements and consider small areas for improvement. This conscious attention primes the mind to integrate lessons and adjust internal narratives during rest. The act of quiet reflection itself is transformative. It signals to the subconscious that evaluation and refinement are continuous, reinforcing a mindset oriented toward awareness and adaptation. The use of precise mental prompts at bedtime amplifies internal transformation. Select a few targeted statements or ideas that encapsulate the mindset you wish to cultivate. These prompts should be present tense, affirmative, and framed in actionable terms. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be more confident," a more effective prompt would be, "I approach challenges calmly and act decisively in all situations." Clarity is critical. The subconscious thrives on specificity and direction. Vague statements produce weak or fragmented effects. Each prompt should reflect behaviors, attitudes, and internal states that are immediately perceivable and reproducible in daily life. Visualization strengthens the integration of these prompts. Imagine concrete scenarios in which the desired mindset manifests. Engage multiple senses. Notice how your body moves, how your voice sounds, how your environment responds, and how it feels emotionally to act in alignment with the intended state. Sensory richness reinforces neural connections, making internal patterns more vivid and actionable. By mentally rehearsing behaviors, responses, and attitudes in a calm, focused state, the brain begins to treat them as familiar and achievable, reducing friction in real-world application. The process benefits from repeated, gentle reinforcement. Just as physical training strengthens muscles over time, nightly practice solidifies cognitive and emotional structures. Repetition does not mean forceful insistence. It means consistent, deliberate engagement. Each night's reflection, prompts, and visualization accumulate, gradually reconfiguring mental habits without requiring conscious struggle. Over weeks and months, subtle shifts in perception, reaction, and attitude compound, producing a profound transformation that is resilient and self-sustaining. Emotional calibration is an essential component. Mindset is not only cognitive, it is deeply intertwined with emotional tone. Cultivating calm, steady, and focused emotional states during bedtime exercises allows the subconscious to anchor desired patterns more securely. Positive emotions, pride in small achievements, satisfaction with effort, or calm anticipation of improvement, act as glue that integrates new thought structures. These emotional markers provide a feedback mechanism, signaling the mind that the patterns being rehearsed are both desirable and attainable. Micro-actions performed during the day enhance the effectiveness of bedtime transformation. Even minimal alignment between daytime behavior and nighttime practice strengthens neural pathways. Simple choices, such as pausing before responding to stress, completing a small task with deliberate focus, or consciously redirecting thought from negativity to curiosity, provide concrete reference points for the subconscious. Bedtime reinforcement then becomes a natural extension of lived experience, allowing the mind to consolidate, refine, and internalize the patterns already initiated in waking life. Environment plays a supportive role in this process. A consistent, serene space cues the brain to enter a receptive state. Subtle control over lighting, sound, and comfort reduces interference and promotes absorption of intended mental patterns. Over time, the mind begins to associate these environmental signals with internal alignment, reinforcing the habit of reflection, visualization, and mindset refinement each night. This integration of external cues with internal practice amplifies transformation by creating a holistic context for change. The subconscious thrives on patterns and sequences. Structuring bedtime exercises in a predictable sequence, reflection, affirmation, visualization, emotional anchoring, enables the brain to process each step efficiently. Predictability reduces cognitive load and allows deeper engagement with each element of the practice. Over time, this sequencing becomes internalized, allowing the mind to automatically initiate the process, and derive benefit even when conscious attention wanes. Quiet transformation becomes a habitual, almost effortless part of the nightly routine. Patience and observation are essential to sustaining change. Mindset shifts are often subtle, manifesting in incremental improvements rather than dramatic overnight results. Observing these small changes, recording them, and noting patterns of progress strengthens the feedback loop, providing the mind with evidence of efficacy. This acknowledgement reinforces the process, increasing engagement and motivation without introducing pressure or strain. Quiet, steady progression is more sustainable and profound than rapid, forced transformation. Integration of multiple sensory and cognitive channels accelerates transformation. Thought prompts, emotional calibration, visualization, and environmental cues interact synergistically to reinforce internal alignment. Each channel reinforces the others, creating a robust neural network that supports the desired mindset. This multidimensional approach ensures that patterns are deeply encoded, accessible across contexts, and resilient under stress. Transformation becomes more comprehensive, affecting cognition, emotion, and behavior simultaneously. Detachment from immediate outcomes allows the mind to absorb change without resistance. The focus is on the process, not the instant manifestation of results. The subconscious internalizes patterns over time, translating them into habitual behaviors and automatic responses. By releasing pressure to see immediate change, the mind engages more fully, allowing subtle, powerful, and lasting transformation to occur. This disciplined patience cultivates resilience, stability, and a sustained capacity for growth. Reflection upon waking completes the cycle. Briefly reviewing the previous night's practice, noticing internal shifts, and identifying opportunities to apply refined patterns in daily life bridges subconscious processing with conscious action. This connection reinforces integration and accelerates the manifestation of the new mindset in real-world situations. Over time, internal transformation translates into visible improvements in focus, composure, decision-making, and resilience. The practice of transforming mindset quietly every bedtime cultivates mastery of the inner landscape. By combining intention, reflection, visualization, emotional calibration, and environmental cues, the mind is gradually realigned toward clarity, discipline, and resilience. Each night's quiet practice reinforces patterns, refines perception, and enhances behavioral consistency. Over months of dedicated engagement, what once required effort becomes intuitive, habitual, and automatic. The mind becomes a precise instrument of focus, stability, and growth, demonstrating that subtle, consistent nightly attention produces profound, lasting change that unfolds naturally in everyday life. Number 7. Night repetition builds automatic habits. Habits are the foundation upon which success, resilience, and personal mastery are built. They dictate how energy is spent, how decisions are made, and how life unfolds on a daily basis. While much effort is spent trying to consciously establish routines, the mind operates most powerfully when patterns are automated. Night repetition offers a unique and often overlooked opportunity to build habits that require minimal conscious effort during waking hours. As the mind cycles through sleep stages, it consolidates memories, processes experiences, and strengthens neural connections. Repetition during this receptive period accelerates the formation of automatic habits, turning deliberate actions into intuitive, effortless behaviors. The key principle behind night repetition is consistency. The brain responds to repeated stimuli, reinforcing neural pathways each time a pattern is rehearsed, even in a passive state. By consistently exposing the subconscious to a specific behavior, intention, or internal state before and during sleep, the mind begins to internalize it as standard operating procedure. Unlike conscious effort, which requires attention and energy, night repetition leverages the mind's natural capacity for integration, allowing habits to form quietly, efficiently, and with minimal resistance. Preparation amplifies effectiveness. Before sleep, the environment should signal to the brain that it is time for integration and reinforcement. Dim lighting, reduced noise, and comfortable surroundings promote relaxation and receptivity. A short pre-sleep routine, such as slow breathing, gentle stretching, or brief reflection on daily progress, signals to the mind that the upcoming period is dedicated to internal organization. These cues prime neural networks for pattern consolidation, ensuring that repeated input is absorbed more deeply and anchored within the subconscious. Structured repetition is most effective when specific behaviors or responses are clearly defined. Vague intentions fail to create coherent neural patterns. For example, instead of attempting to be productive, a precise habit could be, I complete one high-priority task each morning without procrastination. Specificity provides the brain with actionable instructions, which it can rehearse internally during sleep. This allows habitual behavior to be encoded as a sequence of sensory, emotional, and cognitive responses, rather than as abstract or fluctuating goals. The mechanism of night repetition relies on the mind's natural tendency to simulate experience during sleep. Dreams and hypnagogic states allow the brain to practice behaviors in a safe, low-resistance environment, repeating desired actions mentally or orally, while in these receptive states strengthens pathways that support the habit. For instance, rehearsing the act of calmly responding to stress in vivid detail primes the mind to act similarly during waking challenges. Each night of repetition increases the automaticity of the behavior, reducing the cognitive effort required during the day. Audio reinforcement is a powerful tool for embedding habits. Carefully constructed recordings or verbal prompts, played at a low, soothing volume, can guide the mind toward desired behavioral patterns. Statements should be present tense, affirmative, and precise, reflecting the habit to be developed. For example, I begin each day with focus and clarity, or I prioritize meaningful actions automatically. Repetition of these statements across nights creates neural reinforcement, gradually transforming intentional behaviors into instinctive routines. Visualization enhances night repetition by engaging multiple sensory modalities. The mind encodes experiences more effectively when they include vivid images, tactile sensations, and emotional resonance. Visualize yourself performing the habit seamlessly, noticing the physical movements, environmental context, and emotional state. This multisensory rehearsal accelerates internalization as the subconscious treats imagined practice as legitimate experience. The more detailed and realistic the rehearsal, the stronger the neural imprint, allowing the habit to manifest naturally during waking life. Emotion acts as a multiplier in habit formation. Pairing repeated mental or auditory rehearsal with controlled positive emotions strengthens encoding. Feeling satisfaction, calm confidence, or quiet pride while repeating a habit internally signals the brain that the behavior is desirable and beneficial. Emotional reinforcement ensures that habits are not only automated but also self-reinforcing, increasing the likelihood that they will persist even under stress or distraction. Consistency across nights is essential. Habits are formed gradually. The subconscious responds to cumulative input rather than isolated instances. Repetition must be both regular and sustained, with incremental reinforcement, creating durable neural pathways. Over time, small, deliberate nightly interventions produce compounding effects, transforming behaviors that once required conscious effort into effortless, automatic responses that define daily life. Micro-habits during waking hours support night repetition. Small actions performed consciously, even briefly, provide concrete reference points for the subconscious. These daytime behaviors anchor the internal rehearsal conducted at night, making integration smoother and more robust. For example, a brief session of mindful breathing during the day strengthens the subconscious rehearsal of calm focus at night, reinforcing the automatic habit and increasing its resilience. Environment and context continue to play a crucial role. Subtle cues in the bedroom, such as consistent lighting, temperature and sound levels, enhance the mind's receptivity. Even minor adjustments, like maintaining a quiet space or using gentle background audio, signal to the brain that it is time to consolidate and reinforce patterns. Over time, these cues become associated with habit formation, allowing the mind to enter a receptive state more quickly and effectively each night. Detachment from immediate outcomes supports sustainable habit development. Night repetition is a process of gradual internalization, not instant transformation. The subconscious integrates repeated input progressively, with effects becoming observable over days, weeks, and months. Excessive focus on immediate results can create tension and interfere with absorption. Maintaining patience and discipline ensures steady reinforcement, resulting in automatic, resilient habits that require minimal conscious effort. Reflection upon waking bridges the gap between subconscious rehearsal and conscious action. Noticing small improvements, behavioral shifts, or emotional changes reinforces neural pathways and confirms the effectiveness of night repetition. This conscious acknowledgement strengthens the habit loop, providing feedback that accelerates further integration. Recording progress or noting subtle changes also maintains motivation and fosters continued engagement with the nightly practice. The compounding effect of night repetition extends beyond individual habits. As one behavior becomes automated, it reinforces related patterns, creating a network of integrated habits that support broader goals. For example, automating early focus may enhance productivity, self-discipline, and emotional regulation simultaneously. Nightly reinforcement ensures that these interrelated patterns align, producing holistic improvement in performance, decision-making, and personal growth. Over time, repeated nightly rehearsal transforms the mind into a self-regulating system. Decisions, emotional responses, and behavioral patterns increasingly reflect internalized habits rather than reactive impulses. The subconscious becomes a partner in personal development, executing behaviors automatically in alignment with long-term goals. Night repetition reduces reliance on conscious effort, conserves energy, and produces consistent, reliable results. Ultimately, building automatic habits through night repetition turns the process of personal transformation into a natural, effortless rhythm. By leveraging the brain's receptivity during sleep, combining precise repetition with visualization, emotional reinforcement, and supportive environments, habits are internalized deeply and sustainably. Each night serves as a period of focused, silent practice, allowing behaviors to become instinctive and resilient. Over weeks and months, what once required constant conscious effort becomes second nature, producing a life organized around deliberate, effective, and harmonious patterns of action. Number 8. Condition thoughts for effortless change. The human mind is incredibly adaptable, capable of reshaping itself when given consistent, deliberate input. The key to lasting transformation lies not in sheer willpower or forceful effort, but in conditioning thoughts in a way that change occurs naturally, without resistance. Effortless change is not a fantasy. It is the result of carefully guiding the subconscious, which is the engine behind behavior, perception, and emotional response. By consistently conditioning thoughts, patterns of thinking become automatic, decisions become aligned with intention, and the mind begins to act in harmony with goals without conscious struggle. This process requires understanding how thoughts influence behavior, structuring mental input effectively, and cultivating an environment that supports integration. Thoughts are the blueprint of experience. Every action, habit, and emotional reaction originates in the mind. When a thought is repeated, it strengthens neural pathways, embedding itself into the subconscious as a default response. Conditioning thoughts involves deliberately choosing which mental patterns to reinforce, ensuring that the subconscious is aligned with growth, discipline, and clarity. Each night, when the conscious mind relaxes and the brain transitions into receptive states, repeated thoughts can be subtly reinforced, embedding themselves deeply and naturally, ready to influence waking life. The process begins with clarity of intention. Vague desires, such as "I want to be happier" or "I want to succeed," lack the specificity needed for the subconscious to act. Instead, precise thoughts should describe desired states and behaviors in actionable terms. "I approach challenges calmly and respond with clarity," or "I consistently prioritize tasks that matter most each day." Specific present-tense statements provide a clear target for the mind, reducing internal conflict and enabling the subconscious to align automatically with these outcomes. Repetition is fundamental to conditioning. The subconscious absorbs patterns more effectively when they are presented consistently over time. Nighttime offers a unique advantage because the brain processes experiences and consolidates neural connections during sleep. By repeating targeted thoughts at this time, whether through self-directed reflection, affirmations, or audio cues, the mind begins to internalize them without resistance. Repetition at night leverages natural cognitive consolidation, embedding new patterns more deeply than conscious effort alone can achieve. Visualization answers thought conditioning by engaging multiple sensory modalities. The mind encodes experiences more effectively when they are not only imagined but also felt, heard, and seen internally. Visualize yourself acting in alignment with desired thoughts, noticing how your body moves, how your surroundings respond, and the emotional state accompanying success. This multisensory rehearsal strengthens neural networks and reinforces the perception that the new behavior is natural and attainable. The subconscious treats these vivid simulations as reality, preparing it to act accordingly during waking hours. Emotion amplifies conditioning. Thoughts combined with authentic, controlled emotional engagement create stronger neural imprints. Feeling calm, confidence, satisfaction, or determination while conditioning thoughts signals the mind that these patterns are desirable and rewarding. Emotional resonance acts as a glue, linking intention with motivation, ensuring that conditioned thoughts are not merely cognitive but integrated into the mind-body system. The mind learns to respond automatically in ways that align with both thought and feeling, making change effortless and sustainable. Environmental cues play a subtle but crucial role in facilitating thought conditioning. A quiet, comfortable space signals to the brain that it is time to focus inward and absorb new patterns. Minimizing distractions, optimizing lighting, and controlling sound allow the mind to concentrate on targeted thoughts without interference. Over time, consistent environmental cues create a mental association with receptive, focused states, enabling easier integration of conditioned thoughts each night. Micro-reflection during the day reinforces nighttime conditioning. Observing thoughts, noticing automatic reactions, and consciously adjusting mental focus provides the subconscious with practical anchors. Small daytime actions, such as pausing before responding, choosing deliberate focus, or redirecting attention from negativity, create reference points for the mind. These anchors enhance the effectiveness of nightly thought conditioning, bridging conscious awareness with subconscious integration and reinforcing the desired patterns. Structured sequencing strengthens conditioning, organizing the process into a repeatable routine, starting with reflection, then affirmations, followed by visualization and emotional engagement, optimizes neural integration. Predictable sequences reduce cognitive load and allow the mind to focus fully on embedding new patterns. Over time, this routine becomes automatic, creating a feedback loop where the mind effortlessly enters a receptive, growth-oriented state each night, reinforcing conditioning without requiring conscious struggle. Consistency is essential for durable change. The subconscious adapts gradually, responding to cumulative input rather than isolated sessions. Regular nightly practice ensures that neural pathways are reinforced repeatedly, increasing the likelihood that desired thoughts become default mental patterns. Small, persistent nightly interventions compound over time, transforming behavior, perception, and emotional response in ways that appear effortless yet are rooted in disciplined practice. Detachment from immediate results is a critical component. Conditioning thoughts is a process of gradual internalization. Instant change is neither realistic nor necessary. The mind absorbs patterns subtly, integrating them into habitual cognition and behavior over days, weeks, and months. Maintaining patience and focusing on the process rather than immediate outcomes reduces internal resistance, allowing the subconscious to embed changes naturally and sustainably. Feedback enhances effectiveness. Observing subtle shifts in thought, emotion, or behavior each morning reinforces the success of conditioning. Journaling or mentally noting these changes provides evidence that the mind is adapting, strengthening motivation and commitment. Adjustments to affirmations, visualizations, or emotional focus can then be made to optimize further integration, creating a dynamic cycle of reinforcement, reflection, and refinement. The integration of sensory, cognitive, and emotional channels maximizes impact. Conditioning thoughts is most effective when it engages the mind holistically. Cognitive clarity, emotional resonance, and sensory imagination work together to create robust, interconnected neural patterns. These patterns are more resilient under stress, easily accessible in daily life, and naturally guide behavior toward desired outcomes without conscious effort. Anchoring conditioned thoughts in small, practical daytime actions increases real-world applicability. Each time a conditioned thought is reinforced through deliberate behavior, it strengthens its neural representation and makes it more likely to manifest automatically. This alignment between subconscious preparation and conscious execution ensures that change is seamless, effortless, and enduring. Ultimately, conditioning thoughts for effortless change transforms the mind from a reactive, habitual system into a responsive, intentional one by providing consistent, precise input during receptive periods. Pairing it with visualization, emotional engagement, environmental cues, and daytime reinforcement, the mind gradually reorganizes itself. Behaviors, decisions, and emotional responses begin to align naturally with intended outcomes, reducing friction and enhancing resilience. Nightly practice of thought conditioning converts deliberate intention into automatic operation, producing profound, sustainable transformation that unfolds organically, demonstrating that effortless change is the product of disciplined guidance and consistent mental alignment. Number 9. Dream state learning accelerates progress. The mind's capacity for learning extends far beyond conscious effort, and nowhere is this more evident than during the dream state. Sleep is not merely a period of rest, it is a highly active phase in which the brain consolidates memory, processes experiences, and reorganizes information. Dream state learning is the practice of leveraging this natural function to accelerate personal growth, skill acquisition, and mindset transformation. Unlike traditional study or effortful practice, Dream state learning allows the brain to integrate knowledge and behaviors subtly, efficiently, and powerfully, producing results that feel almost effortless in waking life. The first principle of dream state learning is understanding the unique qualities of the brain during sleep. During REM sleep, when vivid dreams occur, the brain is highly plastic, meaning it can form new neural connections rapidly. The subconscious is more receptive to suggestions, visualizations, and repeated patterns, creating an optimal environment for learning and transformation. Inputs provided before and during this period, whether in the form of affirmations, mental rehearsal, or structured audio cues, are absorbed deeply, bypassing the resistance that often accompanies conscious attempts to change thought or behavior. Dream state learning begins with clear intention. Before sleep, the mind must be guided towards specific areas of growth. This could include cultivating new habits, improving emotional regulation, enhancing focus, or acquiring skills. Intention is critical because the subconscious organizes information based on priority and salience. Without a defined purpose, the mind may process random thoughts, leaving potential unrealized. Writing down a clear goal or silently affirming it before sleep signals the brain to prioritize relevant patterns and scenarios during the dream cycle. Visualization is a cornerstone of this process. The mind interprets detailed, sensory-rich imagery as a rehearsal of reality. When you vividly imagine scenarios that reflect desired behaviors, skills, or emotional responses, the brain encodes these experiences as if they were occurring in real life. For example, envisioning yourself delivering a confident presentation, solving a complex problem with ease, or calmly navigating a stressful situation allows neural circuits associated with these actions to strengthen. Repeated nightly visualization during the pre-sleep period primes the subconscious to enact these behaviors automatically, accelerating skill acquisition and habit formation. Audio and verbal cues enhance dream state learning by providing structured input during receptive phases. Carefully designed recordings can reinforce positive behaviors, mental patterns, or skill sets while the mind is transitioning into sleep or during lighter stages of slumber. The subconscious absorbs language differently than the conscious mind, responding primarily to tone, rhythm, and repeated phrasing. Affirmative statements delivered calmly and consistently can guide the mind to internalize desired states, aligning thought patterns, emotional responses, and behavior seamlessly. Over time, these auditory cues accelerate the brain's natural capacity to learn and integrate new information. Emotional resonance amplifies the effects of dream state learning. The brain encodes experiences more effectively when they are paired with appropriate emotional states. Feeling genuine satisfaction, confidence, or calm engagement, while visualizing or listening to pre-sleep prompts, creates neural associations that reinforce learning. Emotions serve as markers that highlight which experiences are meaningful, increasing the likelihood that rehearsed behaviors and thought patterns will manifest spontaneously in waking life. This is why combining emotional depth with clear intention is critical for maximizing the effectiveness of dream state learning. The mind's natural tendency to simulate problem solving during dreams can also be leveraged strategically. Dreams often present scenarios that reflect waking challenges, allowing the brain to experiment with solutions in a low-stakes environment. By consciously priming the mind with specific challenges or goals before sleep, the brain is guided to explore pathways that support progress. This form of subconscious rehearsal can uncover insights, strategies, and behaviors that may not emerge during conscious effort alone, effectively accelerating problem-solving and skill acquisition. Consistency is essential for lasting impact. Dream state learning is most effective when practiced nightly, creating repeated reinforcement of desired patterns. Neural pathways strengthen through repetition, making behaviors, emotional responses, and cognitive patterns more automatic over time. A single session may offer limited benefits, but sustained nightly practice compounds results, producing profound and durable transformation. This principle mirrors natural learning processes. Incremental, repeated engagement leads to mastery without excessive strain or conscious effort. Integration with daytime practice enhances outcomes. The subconscious consolidates daytime experiences during sleep, linking new information with pre-existing knowledge and behaviors. Engaging in deliberate micro-practices, reflection or skill exercises during waking hours provides reference points for the brain during dream state learning. This connection between conscious action and subconscious rehearsal creates a feedback loop, reinforcing neural patterns and accelerating progress. The mind learns not only passively but actively integrates day-to-day experiences with nightly mental rehearsal. Environmental and physiological factors support effective dream state learning. Maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, ensuring comfort, and reducing distractions create conditions conducive to absorption and neural consolidation. Even minor adjustments, such as controlling room temperature, reducing light, or limiting noise, enhance the brain's ability to process and integrate targeted input. The physical environment becomes a partner in learning, reinforcing the subconscious receptivity and ensuring that intended patterns are prioritized during the night. Patience and detachment from immediate results are vital components. Dream state learning is cumulative and subtle. Its effects may not be immediately observable. The mind absorbs and integrates information gradually, with behaviors and insights emerging naturally over time. Attempting to force outcomes or expecting instant change undermines the subconscious's ability to operate freely. Trusting the process and maintaining disciplined, consistent practice allows transformation to unfold organically, producing results that feel effortless yet are deeply grounded in intentional effort. Monitoring and feedback strengthen the learning cycle. Observing behavioral changes, skill improvement, or emotional shifts upon waking provides evidence of progress, reinforcing motivation and engagement. Journaling or mentally noting insights gained from dreams or pre-sleep practices allows conscious reflection to guide and optimize future sessions. Adjustments in visualization, affirmations, or auditory inputs can be made based on observed outcomes, ensuring that dream state learning remains targeted, effective, and aligned with evolving goals. The holistic integration of cognitive, emotional, and sensory channels maximizes the potency of dream state learning. By engaging multiple pathways simultaneously, thought, feeling, and sensory experience, the brain encodes patterns more deeply and robustly. This multi-dimensional reinforcement ensures that learning is durable, accessible under stress, and readily applied in real-world scenarios. The subconscious becomes an active collaborator in personal growth, working quietly yet powerfully to accelerate skill acquisition and behavioral mastery. Over time, dream state learning fosters self-mastery and efficiency. Behaviors, emotional responses, and cognitive strategies that once required effort become automatic. The mind operates in alignment with intention, minimizing friction and optimizing performance. Challenges are navigated with calm focus, decisions are made with clarity, and personal growth accelerates naturally. Nightly mental rehearsal transforms sleep from a passive state into a strategic tool, harnessing the brain's inherent plasticity to produce measurable, lasting progress in both internal and external dimensions of life. Ultimately, dream state learning demonstrates that the mind does not need to work harder to achieve growth. It needs to work smarter, by leveraging the natural receptivity of sleep, combining intention, visualization, emotional resonance, and consistent reinforcement. progress can be accelerated in ways that feel effortless. The brain becomes an ally in learning, habit formation, and personal development, producing transformation that is both profound and enduring. Each night becomes an opportunity to expand capability, refine character, and advance toward goals in harmony with the mind's inherent rhythms and strengths. Number 10. Sleep rituals trigger subconscious rewiring. Every night, the body and mind enter a state of remarkable receptivity. Sleep is not merely a period of rest. It is a time when the brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and reorganizes patterns of thought. Within this natural cycle lies a powerful opportunity, the ability to trigger subconscious rewiring through deliberate sleep rituals. These rituals are structured habits and practices that prepare the mind and body to absorb, integrate, and transform patterns at a profound level, producing changes that ripple through every aspect of life. When approached with intention, consistency, and awareness, sleep becomes a gateway to lasting personal evolution. The subconscious operates continuously, shaping perception, decision-making, and behavior, often without conscious awareness. Patterns established within it guide actions automatically, determining responses to stress, opportunities, and challenges. Sleep rituals create a bridge to this inner world. By signaling to the brain that it is time for focused internal integration, these practices prime neural pathways for rewiring. This process is not instantaneous. It is cumulative, relying on repeated exposure, emotional resonance, and alignment with intentional outcomes. Over time, what begins as a nightly practice develops into a self-reinforcing cycle of internal transformation. The foundation of effective sleep rituals is consistency. Repetition signals to the subconscious that certain patterns and intentions are meaningful and worthy of attention. Simple routines, performed nightly, provide structure that the mind can anticipate and respond to. This could include practices such as dimming lights at a specific hour, gentle stretching to release tension, mindful breathing, or reflecting briefly on achievements and lessons from the day. These cues create a stable environment that communicates readiness for deep mental processing, ensuring that the subconscious is fully receptive to the information and patterns being introduced. Intentional focus is a critical element. Sleep rituals should involve a deliberate orientation toward the desired internal changes. This may take the form of affirmations, guided audio programs, or mental rehearsal of behaviors and attitudes that reflect long-term goals. Clarity and intention ensures that the subconscious receives precise input. For example, rather than vaguely seeking improvement, a more effective approach would be to affirm, "I respond to challenges calmly and take deliberate action aligned with my goals." Precision provides the neural architecture with clear targets, facilitating more efficient rewiring and stronger integration of the desired patterns. Visualization amplifies the effect of sleep rituals. The brain encodes experiences not only through action, but also through vivid mental imagery. By imagining behaviors, outcomes, and emotional states in sensory-rich detail, the mind rehearses these experiences internally, strengthening neural pathways associated with them. Engaging multiple senses, seeing the environment, feeling physical movements, hearing sounds, and experiencing emotional tones creates a multidimensional imprint that accelerates subconscious integration. This mental rehearsal allows the brain to approach waking challenges as if the patterns were already familiar, reducing friction and effort in real-world application. Emotional alignment is another essential factor. The brain integrates patterns more deeply when thoughts and imagery are accompanied by genuine, controlled emotional experiences. Calm, confidence, satisfaction, gratitude, or determination serve as markers that reinforce desired patterns within the subconscious. Emotion acts as a catalyst, amplifying neural encoding and ensuring that rewiring occurs not only at the cognitive level but also at the affective level. This integration guarantees that new behaviors, habits, and responses are coherent, durable, and effortlessly expressed in daily life. Environmental preparation complements the internal focus. A quiet, comfortable, and consistent sleeping space reduces distractions and signals to the brain that it is time for deep processing. Controlling lighting, minimizing external noise, and maintaining physical comfort optimize the body and mind for absorption of intended patterns. Over time, the subconscious associates these environmental cues with internal integration, facilitating a faster and more effective transition into receptive states. Even subtle sensory inputs, such as gentle background audio or ambient light, can reinforce the ritual and deepen its impact. Repetition within the sleep cycle itself leverages the brain's natural plasticity. Neural pathways strengthen with repeated activation, and sleep provides a unique window for reinforcement without conscious effort. By revisiting targeted thoughts, affirmations, or visualizations each night, the mind repeatedly rehearses desired behaviors and cognitive patterns. This repetition gradually transforms intentional effort into automatic responses, reducing resistance and embedding change deeply within the subconscious architecture. The cumulative effect is a quiet but powerful evolution of mindset, behavior, and perception. Micro-actions during the day enhance the effectiveness of sleep rituals. Small, deliberate behaviors, such as pausing to reflect, redirecting attention from negative thought patterns, or applying recently learned skills, provide anchors for subconscious processing. These daytime experiences create reference points that the mind can consolidate and reinforce during sleep. The combination of conscious practice and subconscious integration accelerates growth, producing changes that are both practical and deeply internalized. Nighttime rituals then become the mechanism for solidifying these experiences into lasting transformation. Flexibility and adaptability strengthen the ritual process. While consistency is critical, rituals should evolve to reflect changing goals and insights. Observing what resonates, what produces noticeable shifts, and what may require adjustment ensures that subconscious rewiring remains aligned with current intentions. Adjustments may include refining affirmations, varying visualization techniques, or incorporating different sensory cues. This iterative approach maintains engagement, optimizes effectiveness, and deepens the integration of desired patterns over time. Patience is central to sustainable transformation. Subconscious rewiring is gradual. It unfolds silently without dramatic immediate evidence. Observing subtle shifts in thought, emotion, and behavior provides feedback and motivation. Trusting the process allows the mind to integrate patterns naturally, without forcing outcomes or creating internal tension. Over weeks and months, incremental changes compound, producing significant and lasting evolution in how the mind responds to challenges, opportunities, and daily experiences. Reflection upon waking completes the cycle of change. Reviewing the previous night's practices, noticing subtle shifts, and identifying opportunities to apply newly reinforced patterns bridges subconscious integration with conscious action. This awareness strengthens neural pathways, reinforcing the automaticity of desired behaviors and mental states. By connecting nightly rehearsal with daytime application, sleep rituals create a continuous feedback loop that accelerates growth, enhances self-mastery, and produces consistent, tangible results in everyday life. The combined power of structure, intention, emotional engagement, visualization, environmental optimization, and repetition enables sleep rituals to act as a transformative tool. They turn rest into a period of active, purposeful rewiring, allowing the subconscious to integrate, refine, and internalize patterns that support growth, clarity, and resilience. Each night becomes an opportunity to shape the mind with precision, cultivating habits, attitudes, and responses that align naturally with goals. Over time, what once required conscious effort evolves into automatic, effortless expression, demonstrating the profound potential of deliberate nightly practice in reshaping reality from within. Subconscious rewiring through sleep rituals represents the ultimate form of efficient personal development. It leverages the brain's natural capabilities, transforms intention into behavior, and converts habitual effort into automatic alignment. By committing to structured, consistent, and emotionally resonant nightly practices, the mind becomes a self-directed agent of growth. This process produces a quiet yet unstoppable transformation, revealing that mastery, resilience, and meaningful change can unfold without struggle, emerging seamlessly through the disciplined cultivation of nightly rituals.